I am Rudy Breedy, and I am the Chief Executive Officer of Rude Rangers Entertainment. We're a multi-streaming platform available on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, as well as all the other popular platforms. You can find us by looking up ruderangers.com. We also have a clothing apparel line, furniture, and a whole bunch of other great stuff. So, believe it or not, you'll love what you see, so please check us out.
You put Cupid on your Roku. We've known each other there, but that's pretty much it. I haven't been able to really get my movies out there. I did have a guy that bought me a camera and then became executive producer on anything I make, so it was a good deal.
That's a good deal.
But then he came back and was like, you know what, we got to get your movies out there. So he was going to do a Roku channel for me, producing his movies, but hands off, which I love. He was a doctor, and he just wanted those credits. So just keep on going. But
we need more of him.
I know. I mean, I never got no money out of him, but I got a camera, and then, like I said, I don't care. I'll put anybody's credits on there. Yeah. I'll barter.
What have you made?
All together?
Because it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like 160.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But that goes all the way back to VHS time. Yeah.
Nobody remembers VHS but me and you, I think.
No, actually, I got a guy that contacted me that's trying to buy my VHSs because some people actually, collect them. I was like, what are you going to... Yeah. And he was like, well, Jimmy, some of your movies nobody's ever seen, so they're kind of like rare, almost like, treasures because nobody really has them. I mean, if I can make any money off of it, if somebody sees you and be like, oh, man, I love that movie, let's go, I got the money, it only takes one.
Mm-hmm. And that is one step above where you were before. So
yeah, but he did try to get a Roku. This is what I was telling you is he was going to actually invest in a Roku, and he said it was going to cost like $5,000, but he was okay with that. But when he was researching it, had to have like an IT person in case it goes down.
That is actually true. The other part about that, well, you got a lot of content, so you should be okay. But if you don't have enough content to consistently feed your channel, it basically dies on the vine because you've got to keep it fresh. Think of it as operating your own ABC, NBC, Fox, whatever. So you've got to continually crank out new content in order to keep people tuning into it. The other thing is that the marketing, the promotion. There was a moment, everybody and their brother had a Roku, started a Roku. So you got to figure out what's going to make yours stand out from the crowd. What is it you're offering? Are you going for the largest possible audience? Are you looking for a niche market? Who is it that you want to be behind those eyeballs tuning into your channel? And what is it you're doing to speak to them in their language so that they know you're there and will devote their time to you? I mean, the competition for people's attention is so tough.
It's the one thing my ex always used to tell me is, who you making the movie for? You got to know your audience. I was like, I don't know my audience. I'm making a movie because I want to make it, and I don't know who's going to watch it.
Totally works for the movie. That doesn't translate well to a Roku channel. So you really have to have an audience because you've got to have marketing dollars behind it and a marketing plan. So in addition to that IT person, you need a marketing person, ideally a marketing team, and you've got to zoom in on who is that target audience.
Well, the guy that I talked to last, and he said anybody can get like sub-channels. It's sort of like the Roku. You still have to find the commercials and, go out. Yeah. And I was like, well, then there you go, lost me. I would love to have my own channel because I could fill it with content. But he said the same thing as you. When you have your channel, your Roku, it's content is what you need. I got that, but I don't have. I don't have.
Let me ask you this question. Is there a reason why you don't maybe supply your movies to like a Tubi or those other like movie networks where they accept content?
I checked it out, and when I did Alien Parasite, a lot of distributors came after me, and there was so many rules and stuff for each one that when I went to Tubi, there was also closed caption, the sound, and all that. I don't have none of that attached to mine, and you know me, I make the movie and go on.
There are online services that would do closed captioning for you, and it's not that expensive anymore.
Remember, every time I make a movie, I lose money.
Gotcha.
I've never made a dime.
Do you enter film festivals, or that's not?
No, because that costs more money. Oh, yeah. It costs more money, and every time you enter, doesn't mean you're even going to get in. So that's you figure $75 to $100 for a feature every time you enter it. That's 5 film festivals you can try. That's $500. I'll take that money and go make another 2 movies.
Although it might from a longer term kind of marketing.
But that's if you get in them. like I said, it's a crapshoot to get in them, and sometimes it's a popularity contest.
I think it definitely is a popularity contest. I think especially the bigger ones or the more like well-known ones, if you will.
I talked to a lady yesterday, and even though she won, she didn't get nothing from it.
Yeah, again, I think it's all the bragging rights, if you will, which is part of your whole marketing plan. Kalamazoo Film Festival winner, some nonsense, some bullshit.
Yeah, we know it's bullshit. I was telling the one last night because the movie I just made, right? Yeah. My ex loved, and she never loves anything I make. But somebody was writing me how bad my movie was, so you know, when I gave you Cupid, I had people on the internet told me that I should kill myself because I made that movie.
Why?
Because they said it was so bad. You know.
You're kidding.
No,
wow.
But that's what I'm saying. It's people. You just gotta let it roll off, especially in this business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So,
completely.
And the same thing with the film festival. It's like, oh yeah, so and so said you're great, but the next person that watches it, might hate it. I just had a distributor tell me we would look at your movies, but the problem is you put them on YouTube, and I'm like, well, if I don't put them on YouTube, if I can't find you to see them, how do I get it distributed? It makes no sense. You know what I mean?
I think, yes, I hear what you're saying with that. I think from their perspective, it's hard for them to sell something that you're basically putting out there for free.
Yeah, but I could take it down. They wouldn't even know who I am if they didn't come across my movie. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So I would have never had that contact if I didn't put it up. So how can you sit there and tell me you can't do that? Well, then I can't do nothing. You know?
I guess I would think, but again, I don't know. Were they looking more for you to maybe just put trailers out?
Maybe. I mean, I thought there's different times to where I was actually like putting my movies on private, and I was just going to have the box cover up there. You know, in the end of the day, when you make the movie and they're not getting distributed, you just want anybody to watch them. You know, so
yeah, I got you.
And even the everyday people that watch them. I'd rather have somebody watching them than nobody.
Yeah. Do you do trailers for all your movies?
Yeah, but the movies are better than the trailers. I haven't perfected the trailers yet.
I think if you could get the trailers, but I know what you're saying. That's hard. That's hard. That's and it's like making a mini movie.
Yeah, and then what am I going to do if I put the trailers out there and they're like, oh, I like that, I want to see it. So either I got to send them a DVD or say, here, I put a link on YouTube. Oh, well, we can't touch it because you put a link on YouTube.
Would you do Vimeo or you like that?
I got a thing against Vimeo.
What did Vimeo do?
Well, everybody said that's for filmmakers. So I put my stuff up on Vimeo, and I put this one movie called Random Acts. When I went to go check it on Vimeo, Vimeo took it down. It's my movie on my account. There's nothing wrong with the movie. Yeah, a woman in there like kills me with a stick or something like that. It's my movie, and they wouldn't tell me why. It's my account. It's my movie. Nobody's watching it but me. I haven't even put it out yet, and they took it down for violating whatever rules that they would not tell me what the rules were.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, well, hell, I'll just stay on YouTube.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm just trying to pick your brain because is your Roku... I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but is your Roku successful?
Yes, it is actually. So
okay.
We're pretty successul.
So
it generates money, which is fantastic. It's a continual grind. We have to continually look for content. Daily, hourly. Not going to lie to you, it is not easy. And we have to continually market.
Well, you want a podcast on there? I got to market however I can get it, man. The honest truth is, I got by the end of the week, I'm going to have another 10 that I got to edit. Yeah, and I'm just going to keep filming them, so...
Let's definitely talk later. We can certainly do that. The only thing I would just say to you in terms of the podcast is I think we need to come up with a theme, kind of what is this podcast about, even if there's just some commonality between all the interviews and things that you're doing. So
I always ask the people, what are they doing and what they're passionate about, because, why else would you want to talk to me if you don't get to actually promote what you're doing and, talk about stuff that you are passionate about. Like I have filmmakers, I have actors, I have writers. Like I said, I will have possibly doctors and lawyers and stuff like that, but they all have something that they want to speak about. But I couldn't narrow it down.
So is the pervasive theme then of maybe your podcast passion and purpose, where people talk about what they're passionate about and what their purpose in life is?
Yeah, and basically learning about who the people are, because like I said, even the people that I've known for 20 years, when they got on there and they started talking, I was like, I didn't know that about you.
That's fantastic. That's really cool.
So,
I love that.
But
I like that a lot.
I'm not too social, believe it or not. I am when I'm doing the movie.
Way.
Oh no, man!
Okay.
If I was outside your car right now, I couldn't even look you in the face. I'm like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, to where when the camera's rolling, I'm God. When the camera isn't, I get the head down and I don't want to look at anybody.
You know, the funny part is I can actually relate to that. So I play an extrovert, but I'm really an introvert. In a social setting or a party or whatever, I'm the guy in the corner, like with a drink and like some food, and I just kind of sit there. A lot of times people think that I'm purposely being standoffish. It's just not that. It's hard. Connecting for me sometimes with people can be very, very difficult. But that comes more, I guess, from like self-doubt or imposter syndrome or something else. But I can kind of get what you're talking about right there. So normally it's rough. So I typically am better at interviewing. If you haven't figured this out yet, I'm better at asking you all these questions than giving you an opportunity to ask me any questions, because it's easier for me.
Well, like I said, I'm also doing it as a social thing, because they're always telling me that I got to get out of the house. But this was a way to actually start talking to people. I don't get starstruck or nothing like that. When I'm filming something, if I had to call up a job interview, I would like hesitate to call. But if I'm like doing this, it's like, Rudy, come on, man, get on that or get on this. Let's go.
Totally. No, I totally get that. I am curious, of all the movies that you've done, do you actually have a favorite? And if so, which one and why?
Is Test of Our Love. Even though that there was a continuity problem, the one that hurts is that I think people would love it twice as much if they watch it a second time. Because I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's 2 twists in there.
Yeah.
I should have never put the 2 twists, but if you know the 2 twists and you go back and watch it again and know what the other couple are, you'll see all those little gems that are in the movie that is just like, that I didn't even realize that I was like enhancing and doing, and then I'm watching it and I was like, that told you right there. That told you right there, but it's so hidden.
Did you mean to make it so hidden, or that just
I meant to make it hidden, but like I said, I like twists in movies, but having 2 of them in there, I don't know if it was overkill, the whole thing about the house and stuff like that. Got you.
Gotcha.
But
I love that.
But the one that really hurt me was the continuity problems, because we filmed that thing. Let's reshoot 40 pages real quick, right? But it was a different day, and Fred shaved his goatee. So then, if you watch the movie, which it made me a really good editor of hiding things. It is all the way through the movie. He'll sit down. I don't want to ruin it if anybody's watching. Don't listen to this. This is a spoiler.
Come on, spoilers. Spoilers right here.
But he'll sit down. He'll be clean shaven. He'll stand up from the couch. He'll have a goatee. He'll walk in the kitchen. He'll be clean shaven. He'll go there. It's all the way through the movie. And basically, I had to learn to never end the scene with him. It kind of escapes the audience's mind. But even with that, it's a gem. It really is.
I love that.
I mean, I can watch that over and over again, and the actors are just perfect in there.
Are there any where you just like, no one will ever see this. It's not going to make the light of day.
Not really.
Or I really wish I could just do it all over again.
But see, that's the difference between me and everybody else. Like, a movie is a bad movie. Because it's 2 movies inside of a movie that's inside of a movie that's a murder inside of a movie.
Say that one again, let's go to the rest of this.
A movie is about Driving Sweetheart's movie that the actors are now being killed because they made Driving Sweetheart that's inside a movie being made as a movie.
Okay, all right, I think I got it.
I'm going to take it apart. Because literally, it could be 2 movies. It's a lot of movies inside of a movies, but it should have been like a crime drama and somebody putting a movie together. And I still see that, so even though it's probably one of my worst movies, it's not done yet, because I'm going to rip it apart and turn it into 2.
Oh, wow. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so even when you say, what's your worst one? Well, if I think it's my worst, I'll re-edit it and make it better.
Okay.
So,
one of your movies, which one would you want them to watch?
Time's Up. It's only 8 minutes long. People's attention spans aren't that good, and that was just magic.
Tell us why.
We went up to Pennsylvania to shoot a different movie. The actresses had family issues, so we were up there, and I was like, I don't go anywhere without filming. Let's go in the barn and shoot something. And we even voted on who was going to die. I mean, it was like, okay, let's vote. Rock, paper, scissors. But it was all improv, and it was just the most fun. 4 hours, it turned into an 8-minute gem. I even did something I never did before, because the composer contacted me, and I was like, look, because even though the movie's great, it wasn't perfect. I couldn't find the boom. It was underneath the camera bag. We found it after we got done shooting. There's some sound that I was like, okay, I need music to cover up it. And so I told the composer, and he was like, Jimmy, I don't see no music being there. Yeah, but it's my movie. And trust me, I dealt with music composers before, and it's always Jimmy's way. I don't care what you say. The way he told me, he was like, look, your job is to make the movie. My job is to make the music. And I'm telling you, there's no music there. So if the sound is messed up, you got to fix it. But he was right. And his music was great. Now, did I fix it? No. I did attempt it. I had all the actors come back, and I did their voiceovers, and even though I had the voiceovers, then it became, well, there's an echo in the barn, like the ambience that I love, that I'm going to lose. I got screwed at little audio problems. I was like, it's fine the way it is. And I still think it's probably one of the best. And the fact that it wasn't even supposed to be made, that makes it even better. There was no plan. It was just like, turn the camera on, let's go. And
that's pretty cool.
Made up on the spot.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Which of your movies would you say best defines Jimmy Traynor?
Probably Beat the Bastard Down. I shot that in 32 hours. The actor called me up and he was like, look, Jimmy, I can only get on a plane and be there on Friday. I have to leave on Sunday. So, if anybody can do it, you can do it. And all the other filmmakers I called up said, man, I wouldn't even attempt that. And I was like, well, that just means to do it, And here's a little secret to it too, is that the main actor, he was scared. He was like, I can't do 32 hours straight. And so I found out some of the other filmmakers that he knew told me privately that, hey, Steve can't do it, So instead of not telling him, I was like, Steve, they all said you couldn't do it anyway. And I was like, okay, let's do it, Jimmy. So I tricked him right into it. But some of the best stuff is in the bloopers at the end, because when we're filming, you could see the actors, they're saying something. And I was like, no, that don't make sense. And they turn to me and they're like, how are we supposed to know? The whole movie's in your head. You're just telling us what to say. So basically, it was a whole feature improv movie that we did in 32 hours coming from my head. Just like, go, say this, say that. Yeah, we need something over here. And then at one point, they were going to shoot one guy in the head. I was like, you can't do that, because then that won't make sense, because that's not there. And they're like, well, how are we supposed to know? I was like, don't worry about it, just go.
Right.
And the best thing is, a year before that, Fabrice got on like one of the top 10 things on the Film Thread review thing. He was in a movie. And I did a kids movie with my kids that got like, I think like number 13, and he was like number 11 or something like that, the one that he did in California. And I was like, look, if you fly in, we'll break the top 10. And sure enough, on that whole year, we were ranked number 6 for the best movie with Beat the Bastard Down. So I actually did what I said I was going to do with that movie. Charlotte, my ex was like, why you got her picture on there? I was like, sooner or later she's going to make an appearance, because she sits right next to me.
A lot of people, movies are just magic. And movie makers, if you will, are kind of magical. And I know that they think, what are some of the challenges, honestly, of being a filmmaker like yourself? People don't realize it. Like, I don't know if they understand
it's solving problems.
Everything that happens, you put your own dollars into it, your own time. It's just like blood, sweat, and tears, literally. Something.
What is it worth to you to see the movie and not make it back? That's what filmmakers have to think about, is like, there's no guarantee you're going to make your money back. I don't care who you are. There's so many elements. You only need that one bad apple to spoil everything. Could be the bad editing. Could be the music too loud.
Is it hard for you to watch a movie and take off your filmmaker hat?
No, dude, when I watch a movie, I'm just there to enjoy it. I don't ever I don't analyze it one bit. Like the hero comes up and somebody's got a machete and a machine gun, and they just choke them out, and they're holding a gun and they're not even firing them. You could have did a lot of different things just to make that make sense, rather than make it look really dumb. That's the only time that the filmmaker comes out and says, well, you could have cut it this way so it would have looked that way, and they could have made sense of it. But most of the time when I'm watching a movie, it's just enjoy it.
What's your your script writing process like? Do you have any like rituals, any routines?
I downplay everything. It's like, look, when I write it, I can't write like everybody else. Like, oh, I want to do this big budget thing or whatever. The reason is because if the story really gets in me, I'm gonna film it. So
Okay.
I have to kind of downplay it when I write it for like a low budget thing because if nobody else makes it, I'll make it. I mean, I hate to like kind of like hold myself back, grammar and writer wise. That's why I make movies. I couldn't.
No,
I've written books, but if you read them, you'll realize that like what. And that's why a lot of my actors sometimes they show up and they're like, okay, some of your script don't make sense, but we figure you're going to tell us here, because they tried to read it and they're like, yeah, it's just an outline, just go. Now, me personally, I thought it was perfect. I thought it was great, and they're like, no, I didn't understand it at all. It wasn't even grammarly correct. You're using wrong words and stuff. And then I look at it and be like, oh, yeah, I did.
That's because you were just cranking it out. You were flowing. You were getting it all out there.
But I've had stuff stolen from me, but I won't go into that.
How was that like?
Well, I send my videos out and all that, and I know one time, I ain't going to say what the movie was, but a neighbor was watching the movie, and he was like, I'm coming down. Remember we did that movie years ago? He goes, I just watched this movie, you see this? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, it's the same thing, same characters, they're doing the exact same thing in our movie, and we did it 3 years ago out. I was like, because I sent it to their production company. I got to send my stuff out, we can't prove it, just be quiet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, you understand, I make stuff, nobody's giving me a budget, I can't go big, which really, the one thing that bothers me more than anything is when I watch the low budget $20 million movies that only make like $10,000, and then they come back and make another $20 million sequel. Like, is somebody laundering money, or are they just using it as a write-off? How is that possible? I literally can tell you 2 movies that had sequels where it even says they spent $20 million, and at the box office they made 10 on one and 12,000 on the other. So they made $22,000, but they spent $22 million.
Right.
And I think they're gearing up for a third one. How is that possible?
Yeah.
How?
I think you're right. Write-off or some other thing that we're certainly not going to get into here.
Yeah. But see, that's what I want. I want somebody to be like, Jimmy, I got some money to spend. Here, go.
I'll just throw it away on you.
Yeah.
So
the bottom line is why I do this, why I do that, why I do everything is I don't want it to die with me. I come up with about 5 different stories a day. I can't stop them. And the biggest shame that I see is like writers that, I want to get my script made, but they never get anything done. Everybody's always talk, and I got so many of them. That's why I don't care if people steal stuff from me, because I'm not. It's not the only idea I have. If you steal stuff from me, guess what? I got a story about people stealing stuff from me that I'm going to come and kill.
Good point. Good point.
I just turn it into mine. Yeah, I want to be able to make a living at it. That at least, but I just don't know how. You said your Roku's successful. Do you make a living out of it?
I don't make a living off of that. I make a good side hustle or whatever it is. So there's great side money to be made from this. It has not yet reached the point where it, could pay a mortgage or keep the lights on or do that kind of stuff. Not replace a full-time job. So I do work a full-time job and have some other side, ventures and things that I do. That would be the goal. Will I ever see it? Probably not. But you know what? It gets the creative juices flowing. It feeds a passion. Keeps me out of trouble.
Well, at least you get something for your effort. That's what I would want. I would want something for my effort. If there's a way.
I will say, and it really depends on what you consider the something, and it's easy for me to say sitting in my position versus say yours, but the thing that you have, again, from my vantage point, is you, after we're all dust in the wind, you're going to leave a legacy of all these films and this incredible library of stuff. I am more of kind of a content curator, so I'm not technically producing my own content. So I'm more like I'm like a warehouse, and you're all the great goods inside the warehouse.
Well, that's why I don't want to shut the warehouse off either. Like everybody's saying, oh, well, you can't give it away for free. I was like, I guess in a way, if you asked me, why do I do it? It's basically a calling card. It's like, yeah. I made this. I can make more of this. Give me some money. I can do this. You want a movie, come to me. You want a script, come to me. You want a podcast, come to me. Anything you want, come to me. I can do it. But the stuff that I did, it's not made to really be sold. It's made to be enjoyed.
Understood.
And because if I hide it and say, hey, I'm only going to give it to people that will give me $10. Well, I might make like $100, but then that's it. It's just sad, you know?
Yeah. No, I get it. And you're also denying that one person who might enjoy it or feel inspired by it or whatever, that opportunity. So I do get that. That's kind of the noble part of what you do, which is very cool, and why you do it.
I know, but I need the money.
Join the club. Like, I need money.
But I was hoping that, you know, you had insight investors say, Jimmy, thanks for talking to me. I got this guy that's got millions of dollars. Here's his number. Nothing like that.
Look, if I had a guy with millions of dollars, believe me, this would be a full-time gig for myself as well. I'm hoping that maybe that guy is watching this thing right now, or gal. We got to be equal. Yeah. Maybe they're watching this thing right now, and they will kind of invest in and support either one of us. But, you know, you never know, and this will carry on a long way. Now, what I want to know is, how do people find you? Because I've got a lot of friends and family.
My stuff is posted everywhere. Anything I touch, it's Traynor 4 Film. Actually, I got the shirt. Traynor 4. I got the merch.
And that's Traynor with a Y.
Yeah, and an O.
Before I do let you go, or you let me go, because it really is your show, even though I kind of took over here.
Yeah, you did.
Is there, sorry about that, I just have my personality type. A minimum amount or a range in terms of people who might want to invest in your films? So somebody watching this and like what, you know, how low can they go? How high can it be?
No, I mean, like I said, I can make a movie for $1,000, honestly. But I would like, what I want to do is, the highest I have ever did is 2. I would like to make movies for like 10 to 30, and I could make pretty good movies. And like I said, that's cheap as anything for the you know, if you just want producer credit and stay out of my way, I hand over a movie.
All right, so you heard it here, folks. For as little as $1,000, you could get a producer.
Well, let's go to the 10 to the 30, but yeah, you can still do it for the 10. I do bargain. I do the bargain bottom price. Yeah.
You got 2 movies.
We didn't say whether it was a short or a feature. You want a feature, you better.
We'll negotiate that later.
You better rack that thing up. But yeah, honestly, if somebody ever came to me and said, "Hey, Jimmy, here's $1 million, go make a movie," I'd be honest, man. I'd probably make 10 of them. You know, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, and I'd be like, we making 10 of them. One of them's got to hit. You know.
Absolutely. No, I love that. I love it.
That $20 million that they spent on there, I would have made at least 10 movies out of that, man. So they would have got more than $10,000.
Okay. Everybody, you heard it here first. This was Jimmy Traynor. I cannot wait to connect with you and do more. We're gonna have to do another part 2 because I want to hear more about your whole thing with Die Hard. And we got to definitely get into my own stuff another time.
You're the one that kept talking and took it over. I was supposed to be about you. I do want to talk to you about content because, like I said, I do have content. And if you need content, contact me. You know?
Always need content.
I understand that people, look, if I send you something and you look at it and be like, Jimmy, that don't fit, it don't bother me. I'll send you another one and another one.
Always need content. Always look for content. And I got to tell you, because I have seen a lot of your stuff, that you've got fantastic movies. So that is a done deal. There's like basically nothing I wouldn't send back. So Test of Our Love was my favorite of all the ones I've seen. I have not watched the Blacklist yet. I promise I'm going to. Maybe after we're done with this, I'm going to chill out and put it on. I've been meaning to, but I haven't had a chance to. But I got to tell you, the other stuff is great. I really do.
Well, the Blacklist, let's just say it's a little autobiographical. Some of the crazy stuff. Okay, because there's a lot of crazy things in there, but I tell you, I went through it all. I've done this for 32 years. I've seen a lot of crazy situations. Right. So I embellished here and there, you know. But
we won't tell. This has been really cool, my friend. I appreciate this.
Well,
thank you, Jimmy.
I appreciate you.